Okay, hi everybody. We are going to do a stretchy kind of class today, something nice and slow, a little bit more gentle, just opening up through the body. No sweat this time for a nice little change. So yeah, just take it at your own pace. You can hold, obviously, stretches for longer if you want to. We'll still try and move at a pace, but just get nice and flowy through the body, nice and open. So we have another playlist to go with today. So it's again on my Spotify account called Smooth Stretchiness, and it's just be a nice way to chill out either at the end of your day or right at the start of your day. So I'm just going to put my music on in my ear. When you're ready, come down onto your back. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. We go for a little rock from side to side, massaging out through the back of the pelvis. And then we're going to go for a couple of knee circles. So opening the thighs like you're stirring your thigh bones in a pot. Open wide to the sides of the room. And then hug the knees into the chest. Let's do two more in this direction. And then change it, go the other way. So just try to get the knees and the legs to be nice and heavy. Get your arms to actually do this work. We'll do two more. Last one. Hug the knees into the chest. If you like, lifting head and shoulders. So kind of curling yourself into that little ball. And then extend your left leg long, relax the head and shoulders down. Hugging that right knee into your chest. And then lifting head and shoulders, switch it over, right leg long, left knee hugs into chest. One more each side. And then hugging both knees in, lifting head and shoulders. So really try to pull your forehead to your knees. And just go for a nice big reach. The legs can go high, arms can stay high. And then hug into that ball. Big reach. And hug it in. One more time, big reach. Hug it in. Extend left leg long, extend right leg to the ceiling. You can lower head and shoulders down here. Slowly switching the legs. So more like a hamstring stretch than trying to get into our scissors. Exhale to pull that leg. Inhale, and then exhale, pulling in the other leg. So it's an inhale to switch. Exhale, pull that leg towards your face. If you really want to work a bit harder, you can lift head and shoulders, make it a bit more abdominals, but that's not really what we're going for today, but it's totally up to you. We'll do two more. Last one. And then hugging both knees into the chest. You can cross the ankles, slowly come on up and over into 4-point kneeling. So just wiggle yourself back to the middle of your mat. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to dip the belly down, tilt the tailbone to the ceiling, open through the chest. And then draw the belly in, round through the spine. Exhale. Inhale, lift the chest, lift tailbone. And then tuck tailbone round through the spine. So just continuing, allowing the breath to guide the movement. Maybe adding some little shapes here in your cat-cow so you can circle through your rib cage, like rolling your ribs around. You can send your bum back, swaying the hips from side to side. Just not forgetting that original movement, that rounding and arching through the spine. You might even like to go for circles through the wrists. Just whatever feels nice. We'll go for one more full round here. Inhale. And exhale. Finding stillness here in your 4-point kneeling. We'll take our right arm to the ceiling. Big inhale. Exhale, thread your needle, dive underneath that left arm. Inhale, reach to the ceiling, open the chest. Exhale, folding, reaching underneath, thread that needle. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. As you exhale, reaching through and hold it here. If it feels okay, bring your ear all the way down to your mat. Try to keep your hips over your knees, so you're kind of really leaning into that shoulder and into your arm. If it feels okay, reaching that left arm out in front to the top of your mat. Maybe reaching over, taking a little bind, so you're reaching towards your right thigh, but maybe just the back of your t-shirt or your pants, maybe around to your right hip. Just trying to peel this top shoulder back slightly. At the same time, opening across the back of your right shoulder. Taking 1 more breath in. And then exhale. Unwind that arm, hand down next to your face, and then reaching up, inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hand down. Round through the spine, draw the belly in, and then send your hips back to your heels. Maybe tent the fingertips here in your child's pose. And then come up, arch the spine, finding your cow. Round into your cat. Tent fingertips, push the hips back. Find your child's pose. 1 more time, coming up. Round, tent fingertips, press back. Coming up to that nice flat back in your 4-point kneel, left arm to ceiling, inhale. Exhale, thread your needle. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread it through. We've got 2 more like this. On your last one, you'll reach under, find that threading of your needle, your left ear down to the floor. Try to reach that left arm long, opening up through this left shoulder. And then right arm reaches to the top of your mat. Maybe taking that bind. Remember, you can always just leave your hand where it was. You don't have to take the bind or the reach. Opening that right shoulder if you are though. Taking 1 more breath. Stay for the exhale. And then bring your hand back next to your face. Reaching to the ceiling, inhale. And then hand down as you exhale. We'll round through the spine, send your bum back to your heels. Slide your hands forward, so find that nice long child's pose. And then lower your elbows to the floor, snake your chest through, finding a nice little low cobra. So you're going to bring your hands just to the side of your mat. Take a nice big inhale, lifting the chest. You don't have to come super high. Lower down, plant hands, lift, send the hips back to your heels. Coming forward, hands go wide as you lift. Lower down, flatten the hands down, maybe bring them underneath the shoulders. Press back, child's pose. 1 more time, let's come through. This time we're going to hold that lift of the arm, of the chest, and then lower down. Lift up, lower down. Again, this does not have to be big. It can be quite small, which is obviously the opposite of big. Next time you lift, hold here. Let's take the right shoulder down, opening the chest to the left. Come back through center, left shoulder down, chest to the right. Just switching side to side. One more time to the right. Come back through center, lifting, holding, opening through the chest. And then slowly lowering down. Take your left arm out on a diagonal here. Lift your right toes to the ceiling, so bending that right knee. Roll over onto your left side. Now this left arm can stay out on the diagonal. You might want to take it further, more on a right angle. Rolling onto your left side. If you can, planting the right foot down to the floor. If this foot doesn't want to land, just let it float, that's fine. Give your bum a little squeeze to support the pelvis here. Adjusting as required. You might need to wiggle your bum further forward, maybe further back. Taking one more breath. Very carefully rolling onto your belly and switching sides. So right arm out, either on the diagonal or out to the side. Left hand down next to your mat, left foot lifts, bend the knee, and then roll onto your right side. So as we move a bit slower today, really trying to pay attention to how the body feels, and as we take these unilateral movements, noticing if maybe you're tighter on one side than the other, maybe needing to adjust a little bit more on one side, and not sort of making any judgments about that, just observing, being the curious observer of your body. Taking one more breath. And slowly coming back onto your belly. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. We'll lift the chest. Slowly folding back into your child's pose. Take your arms over to the right side of your mat, or right side of the room, so you might be able to reach quite far here. Thinking not just going to the side, but also reaching long. So you're getting length down the left side of the body, and then plant this left sit bone down towards your left heel. So stretching out the left side of the body from hip through to armpit, down the arm to the fingers. Big breath in and out. Walk the hands through center and take them over to the left. So same thing, reaching long through that left arm. Once you've got the fingers long and diagonal, then start to sink your bum back towards your heels. Maybe your fingers slide in a bit closer to you, that's fine. Breathing into the right side of the body. Feeling the ribs expand out into the sides of the room, the back of the room, the ceiling, and the floor. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Walk the hands back through center. And then lift yourself up into a 4-point kneel. You may need to adjust where you are on your mat. I'm just going to bring myself a bit further to the middle of my mat. Send yourself back into a child's pose. Reach the arms long. And then tuck your toes under. We're going to push through the hands. This will be the most strenuous thing we do. You're going to push through the hands, lift the knees, so you're in like a little crouch. Keep pushing through the hands. Try not to move anything in the upper body here. As you start to peel your legs long as your hips go high, finding a down dog. And then ripple forward, lift your heels, round through the spine, then uncurl the spine, find a plank. Knees come straight down, keep the toes tucked. Fold back into your child's pose. So it's a press forward through the arms, a drawing down of the shoulders. Lift your knees, draw the belly in as you lift your hips high. Unfold the legs into your down dog. Ripple forward, get lots of length through the spine. Find your plank. Drop the knees. Send hips to heels. We'll do 3 more like that. We lift. Straighten the knees, hips go high, push the heels down, get that nice stretch, and then ripple forward. Lift heels, ripple through the spine, shoulders over wrists, drop knees, press back. 2 more like that. Take your time. Heels down, shoulders away from ears, ripple forward, knees, hips to heels. 1 more time, we'll lift the knees, lift the hips, unfolding the legs. Ripple forward to plank. Hold it for a breath. Knees come down. Send it back. Beautiful, sliding your hands towards your knees, lifting yourself up to a forward fold, hands to floor. So we're standing here. Let your head just drop towards the ground. We're going for a little sway from side to side. You can grab a hold of the opposite arm with your hands if you like. And then slowly start to round yourself up all the way to standing, still grabbing a hold of your elbows as you lift to the ceiling. And then extend the arms long. Go for a little side bend to the right, rounding forward. Take the arms over to your left, side fold to the left. And then come up, we'll go over to the left. Round, over to the right, and up. So I'm just going to turn to face so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to go to the right, round forward, really grounding down through the feet. Take it over to the left, all the way up. One more time to the left, round, all the way over to the right, coming all the way up. From here, let's fold forward, hands to floor, take a bend and a stretch of the knees. A bend and a stretch. Having bobby pin regret, need more bobby pins. All right, let's do 3. This is my problem today. It's my one challenge today is having enough bobby pins in my hair. Next time you bend, hold here. Straighten your right knee, lift your right arm to the ceiling, find a little twist. Bend the knee, hand to floor, left arm to ceiling, left knee extends. So getting a nice stretch, hopefully through the glutes, maybe even a little bit into the back. Now, if this is hurting through your pelvis, this can be a little bit of neural tension up the back of the leg. So if you have sciatica or anything like that, do not straighten your knees. Otherwise, stretching out through that leg. So either you're just getting a bit of rotation or you're getting a stretch as well. One more time to the left. Holding here. Rolling out through the shoulders, maybe just let your head drop one more time. And then walk the hands out. Find a plank to start with, and then lift your hips. Find your down dog. Take your right foot to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, open your hip. And then extend that knee. Draw your knee in towards your chest, shoulders shift over your wrists. You plant your foot straight to the floor. Drop that back knee down. You can untuck your toes or keep them tucked, completely up to you. We're going to lift up, finding that nice low lunge, opening through this left hip. Little squeeze of the left butt cheek. And then take a twist to your right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Come all the way up. And then fold forward, start to straighten that right knee, lift the right toes, finding a little half split. Watching you're not sinking your hip to your heel, try to keep the hips elevated. Draw that right hip back. And then coming up into that lunge, planting the right foot, little squeeze of your left butt cheek, twist to the right, back to center, fold into that split stretch. Coming up, to the right, center, and fold. Making sure those right toes are flexing back towards your knee. This time we come up, we twist and hold, flip your front palm so your left hand faces the ceiling. Then you're going to lift, finding a little back bend, windmill your right hand down to the back of your left thigh. So instead of thinking of dumping back towards your foot, I want you to think of lifting up out of your pelvis and then lifting your heart space to the ceiling. Taking one more breath. Coming up, hands back to the floor, find your split stretch. One more time, come up. Find that nice low lunge. We're going to twist. Come back through center. Left arm out to the side, right hand gently takes a hold of your left ear. And you go for a little stretch of the neck. I'll just turn around so you can see. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to take your right ear down to your right shoulder and reaching that left arm out, finding a little extra stretch. If that feels too much, hand can just stay by your side. Let's do one more. And play around with twisting that arm as well. And then exhale, coming all the way up, folding over that right knee, finding your split stretch. We're going to hold it here for a couple of breaths. If you want to go deeper, slide that right foot further forward. Just watching you're not putting too much pressure on that right knee. You might want to need to fold up your mat or pop a little cushion underneath your left knee. And then folding over that right leg. Remember, you want to try and plug that right hip back, so get that extra little stretch for the right leg here. One more breath. Slowly lifting up, finding that nice low lunge. I can get my mat not to come with me. We're going to plant the feet, tuck those toes, and then walking around with the hands so that now you're facing the side of your mat in a nice wide forward fold. Folding the chest forward. Maybe walking the hands back towards the other side of your mat. Maybe grabbing a hold of your ankles. Allowing the chest to press down towards the floor. Try to let the top of your head be nice and heavy too. Maybe going for a little bend of one knee, then the other. One knee, then the other. And then slowly keeping the hands on the floor, walk around to your left foot. Plant your hands, sweep your leg back, finding your three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open your hip. So try to keep the chest square to the floor. Press your right heel down. That left hip can open as much as feels good. Squeezing your butt. And then coming in, right knee to nose. Plant your foot between your hands. Lower your right knee down. Either untuck the toes or keep them tucked, completely up to you. We're going to lift up. Nice low lunge, opening through that right hip. And then we're twisting to the left. Left arm back, right hand forward. Coming up through center and then fold with the hips. Flexing the left foot, lifting the toes, straightening that left knee. And then coming up, big open through the chest and that hip. And we twist. Through center and fold. Lift nice and slow. Twist. Center. And fold. This time we lift. We twist to the left, hold, flip your front palm, so right palm faces ceiling. We lift up, so thinking lifting out of the hips, lifting through the belly, spine nice and long, as then you lift your heart space to the ceiling. Your left hand finds the back of your right thigh, opening through the front of the body. Keep squeezing your right butt cheek. And then slowly coming up, find that fold, your split stretch. One more time, we come up into that nice low lunge. We take our twist one more time. We come back through center. This time right arm comes down, left hand to right ear. That gentle fold through the neck, so your left ear coming towards your left shoulder. Right arm can be reaching long with palm facing forward, maybe facing back, maybe flipping it, back and forth, maybe hand just to hip, or just down by your side. Taking one more breath in, and out. Slowly releasing, reaching arms to ceiling, and then folding. Left leg long, left toes point to the ceiling. Maybe coming in for that deeper split as we hold it here. Gently drawing that left hip back, opening up through the side and back of that left leg. If it feels too much, just don't stretch the knee quite as much, that's fine. But see if you can relax a little deeper into that fold. Taking 3 more breaths. Try to smooth out the breath. Last breath here, in Beautiful, lifting up that back knee, walking back around to face the side of your mat. Go for those little side lunges, right and left, right and left. Next time you come over to the right, it doesn't really matter which side, but you're going to come down, and then my right heel is going to lift because my Achilles are really tight. I can't quite get nice and low into that flat-footed squat. So your left toes are going to lift, left leg is straight, right hand down by your side, lift that left arm to the ceiling. And then hand down, walk it over to the other side, lifting that right heel, reaching to the ceiling. One more time, to the right, and to the left. From here, finding your forward fold, chest to floor. Walk back to our left foot, so facing the back of your mat. Drop your right knee down and then walk yourself around to face the side of your mat, so the way we were just facing. You're gonna have your right knee down, left leg long. From here, lifting yourself up nice and tall, take a nice big inhale. Go for a little fold over that straightened knee, so opening up through the right side, and then round forward, going over to the left, or over to the right with your left arm nice and long. Round it over, lifting yourself up into that side bend, rounding, hold it here. Taking 2 breaths, really opening through that left side, actively kind of lifting through your right side waist. And then bring the hands forward, sink your bum back towards your right heel, and see if you can just come into a nice little stretch of the inner thigh on the right side, the left side. Maybe bringing your fists underneath your forehead. Maybe you can bring your forehead down to your flat hands. Maybe your arms can go long and your forehead comes comfortably to the floor. If it's not comfortable, don't go that low. Take one more breath. And then walk the hands a little closer to your knee, your right knee. Lift yourself up, turning back to face the top of your mat. You're going to send your right leg back, lift those hips. And then folding here. We're simply going to just turn back around, face the side of your mat, send your right leg long. So other side, you're going to lift yourself up. Little side bend over your right leg, rounding through the torso, all the way over to the left. Left hand can come to the floor. And then coming all the way up, go back to your left, round it forward over into that side bend. Come all the way up. One more time over to the right, round, come over and hold to the left. See if you can lift that left side waist, open through that right side a little more. And then rounding forward, hands come out in front, you sink your hips to your left heel. And then just adjusting here to find the best way to get that inner thigh stretch. So you may need to shuffle your weight a bit more to your left, a bit further back, a bit further forward. You can play around with the position of your pelvis here. So arms can go long, chest can lower down, fists can come under forehead, hands under forehead. We'll take 2 more breaths. Breathing into that right inner thigh. Taking 1 more breath here. And then when you're ready, come on up. I'll just finish bobby pinning my hair for the 100th time. And then we'll turn back around to that nice low lunge. Plant the hands. Tuck those back toes, lift your knees, sweep your right leg back, 3-legged dog. Straight away you're going to step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. You can drop that back knee down. We're going to find a little lizard lunge stretch. So you're going to give a little sway of the hips, Little wiggle from side to side. If it feels good, you can come down to your forearms here. If that feels too much, just stay on your hands. And if it feels okay too, another way of opening up through your right hip is to roll to the outer edge of your right foot so that your right thigh kind of slowly slants and opens out to the side of the room. But it's completely up to you. If that's no good, keep the foot flat. Let's take one more breath. And then tuck those toes, lift that knee, push through the hands as you sweep that right leg back, three-legged dog. And then come into your pigeon, right knee behind right wrist, right foot behind left wrist. Left leg long, let's lift the chest. Slowly melt down through the chest, elbows bend. Inhale, lift the chest, elbows extend. One more time, lower and lift. This time we lower down and we're going to hold our pigeon. So you can stay here, maybe on forearms, maybe you need to stay on the hands, that's fine. You might like to bring your forehead down to your hands. You might like to take your left arm long and thread your right arm underneath left, bringing the side of your head down to the floor, looking underneath that left arm. Just remembering this is an opener for the hips primarily, so if you feel like you're then rolling onto your right hip and your left hip's kind of just doing nothing, come back so that your chest is square to the floor. Otherwise, if you're enjoying this twist, stay here. We'll go for 2 more breaths. And slowly coming up, so bring your left hand back a little closer to you, and then bring your right hand back up, lifting through the chest. Nice big inhale. And then tucking the back toes, lift that back knee, drawing that right leg back, three-legged dog, bend your knee, open your hip. If you want to here, maybe going for a little wild thing, right foot lowers down, right knee stays bent as you lift the chest, open the front of the body, reach your right arm overhead, hips lifting, and then bringing your hand back to the floor, three-legged dog, and then lower your foot to the floor, pedal it out. Left foot to ceiling, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open your hip, and then bring that left foot to the outside of your left hand, drop your knee down, untuck your toes, find that little lizard stretch. So again, swaying hips or not, maybe opening that left knee to the side, peeling the foot just to the outer blade, or not, staying on hands, or coming down to forearms. Whatever helps to get this left side and underneath side of your hip open, and you're opening through the front of your right hip here. Let's take one more breath. Try and relax the face, relax the shoulders. And then hands come back to your mat, tuck the back toes, lift that knee very carefully, stick that left leg back, three-legged dog. And then knee comes behind left wrist, foot behind right wrist as you extend that right leg long. Coming up nice and tall through the chest, take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rippling up through the chest. Exhale, fold. One more time, we lift. This time as you fold, coming down to hold it for a few breaths, so either staying high if you need to, coming to your forearms, head coming down to the tops of your hands. This time maybe right arm extends long and you thread that left arm under, finding a twist through the chest. Try to keep the pelvis nice and square. So if you feel like you're leaning into your left butt cheek, bring the chest back to square. Breathing here through the hips, through the glutes. Taking 2 more breaths. And slowly walking that right hand back underneath your shoulder, left hand back underneath your left shoulder. We'll tuck the back toes, lift that knee, sweep your left leg back, three-legged dog, maybe bend the knee, open the hip. If you would like to, while playing on this side, left foot comes to the outside of your mat. Hips lift, chest opens, left arm reaching overhead. And then bringing your left hand back to the mat, lifting high through that left leg. And then finding your down dog. Go for a little pedal through the feet. And then walking the feet a little wider here. Maybe shortening your down dog slightly. You're going to take that right hand to the outside of your left leg, maybe thigh, back the knee, shin or ankle. You're going to pull your chest through underneath your armpit. I just like doing this one because I think of you guys just waving underneath your arm. No. Self-isolation for 2 weeks, that's what happens. And then bring your hand back to your mat and then take your left hand across to the right leg. So finding that position first, then gently twisting the chest through, looking underneath your right armpit. Taking one more breath. And slowly releasing it out. Bring your hand back to the mat. Slowly coming down to the knees, toes behind or coming together underneath your hips as you find your child's pose. You may like to bring your hands back towards your feet and just let your head come down to the floor, letting your shoulders just relax over the thighs. Hips nice and heavy on your heels. Taking one more breath, really feel the body getting nice and heavy on the floor. And slowly round yourself up. I'm going to sit off to one side, it doesn't matter which side because we are going to do both. So I'm going to have my left leg out long, my right foot into the inside of my left thigh. I'm going to take the left hand down just either in front of the left thigh or behind. I'm going to reach up nice and tall through that right arm and then go for a little side stretch. So try not to twist your chest down here. We want to stay nice and open through the chest. So here you can kind of have your arm pressing into your left thigh. Give yourself something to press against as you open your chest up. Reaching towards your toes. Feel free if you have that mobility and flexibility to grab your foot. Try to keep your right sit bone nice and heavy. Try to peel that shoulder back a little more. And very carefully coming up, you're going to plant your right hand down to the floor, watching that your right knee is on your mat. We're going to press up, lifting the hips away from the floor, opening through the hips and through that left leg. Let me sit, hand down, find that side bend. Lifting up, hand to the floor, lift the hips. One more time, big side bend. Lift and hips lift. This time hips come down. Go for that side bend. And then holding it, slowly start to square your chest down. So rolling your right shoulder down to the floor. Maybe you're reaching to your left toes. Maybe the hands just either side of your left leg. Taking one more breath. Slowly coming up, nothing fancy, just switching to the other side. So right leg out long, left foot into the side of the inside of the right thigh. Right hand down on the inside of the right leg, if that feels okay. Left arm up and over as you take that nice big bend into your left side. Remembering left hip heavy. They're stretching right into the side body. So you might feel this sort of through the back muscles, lower back muscles, through the waist. The underarms, underarm, and coming up, left hand down. Again, making sure that left knee is on your mat, you're not pushing it into the floor unless you're on carpet, then you're fine. We're going to lift up through the hips. And slowly lowering down, find that side stretch. Lift, hand plants down, hips lift, right arm open through the hips, through that right side. And lower. One more time, big side bend. Remember, you're trying to peel that shoulder open. And a little lift of the hips, lift that arm up, opening through the front of the body. And this time as you come down, go for that side bend. Maybe one little extra twist open before you close that left shoulder down, folding over that that right leg. So hips heavy, try not to force the stretch here, so try not to pull on your leg, pull on your foot, just relaxing into the stretch. One more breath here. And slowly coming up, turning to face the top of your mat, both legs nice and long. Let's sit up nice and tall, reaching through the arms, through the crown of the head. Inhale. As you exhale, fold over those legs. Again, try not to pull on the feet. You can hold them, but try not to use them as resistance. So if you feel like you did it automatically, bring your hands to the mat, relaxing down. Taking one more breath. And slowly round yourself up, making sure as you roll into your back, you're not going to whack your head on the floor, coming all the way down. Hugging one knee into the chest, then the other. And we'll go with those knee circles we started with, circling the thighs around. Again, noticing if your legs are doing the work, can you get your arms to do the work here? Go for one more in this direction. And then change it, go the other way. We're just going to do 4, 3, for 2. Last one. Then drop your left foot to the floor. You're going to cross your right thigh all the way over, so like an eagle wrap with your legs. You don't have to wrap your foot around your calf though. Take your arms out nice and wide, or finding cactus arms, so just bending the elbows. Take your knees over to the left. Maybe your gaze goes to the right. Trying to breathe into that twist. If there's any little clunks or cracks, should be fine, unless it's super painful, but it should feel quite nice and releasing. Taking one more breath. And then come back through center, very gently uncross the legs. The left leg goes over right, and then knees go to the right, gaze to the left. Try not to push the legs down to the floor, just let them be nice and heavy. Taking one more breath. And slowly come back through center, uncrossing your legs. If you would like to, you can go for a little peel of the hips up, just opening through the hips one more time, nothing too strenuous. Melt the hips down, peel the hips up, melt the hips down. As they come down, let's lift the knees in towards the chest one more time. And then extend your legs to the ceiling. Now if you have a wall handy, you can wiggle yourself up to the wall and finish here with your legs up the wall. So it's a nice restorative pose here. But otherwise, you can just do this in the middle of the room with no prop. You could also use a chair, anything that's round that could be supportive. But otherwise, just sinking the hips heavily into the mat. Ribs nice and soft. Shoulders relaxing down your back. Flip your palms up so that you're not pushing through the arms to try and support yourself. If you flip the palms up, the arms can kind of naturally soften. If it feels weird with your legs straight up in the air, if you feel like it's super strenuous, bend the knees. Just let the shins go floppy. But try to keep the knees kind of not coming in towards your chest, tailbone pressing into the floor. Take 2 more breaths here. And then if you are in legs up the wall, like on an actual wall or a prop, you can stay there. And everyone else, let's all just gently bring the feet to the floor. And then slowly extend the knees nice and long. Arms can stay where they are. You might want to fold your hands into your belly or the ribs. Just bringing your awareness to your breath. Eyes closing down. Noticing that gentle rise and fall of the belly with each inhalation and exhalation. You can stay here for a little longer if you like. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, you can just make your way up nice and slowly. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling a little bit more restored and refreshed, a little bit more flexy, stretchy, mobile. Yeah, a nice one to do anytime really. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Have a great day and I'll see you guys next time.